Hello everyone. In today's lecture of Java programming, we will start with the practical session of this subject. Till now we have seen the various concepts of Java programming. In today's lecture we will start with our first practical, that is in your subject Java programming, right? The first practical of Java programming, the definition is given here. Install JDK, write a simple hello world or similar Java program and do compilation, debugging, executing using the Java compiler and interpreter. And this thing we have already done once. In this lecture we will do the same thing again for our practicals. Then in this lecture we will also include one question, that is the main function of Java program. This question is generally asked in the GTU examination also. So we will cover this question here also. Right, now we will create our Java program for printing the hello world. For that I am starting with the comments. In Java programming, for giving the comments we have to use the double slash, and these double slashes are used for one line comment. And if you are giving the comment in one line, then this double slash will work, right? And this practical one will not be executed. This is only for information. Now if I creating the class, we have to write public class first. First is the name of the class, right? In Java programming everything will be done inside the class only, right? For creating the main function, as per the structure of the Java program, we have to include one class, and in that I can create the main function. And the main function of Java programming is public static void main. And this main function will take the parameter, the array of string objects, right? String is an inbuilt class which is available in the Java programming library, right? So this is what the main function. Now our task is to print the hello world in screen. For that we will use the system.out.print. In system.out.print only S is the capital. As Java is very case sensitive language, so we have to take care about the keywords, right? Where S is a capital. And public, class, all these are small. Public, static, void main, all these are small. And in string S is capital, right? You have to mention here that S in system and S in string is capital, right? Using the system.out.println I can print the hello world, right? As you can see that I have given in the system.out.println. Now we will see the main function of Java program, right? The main function of Java program, as you have seen in this program, which is written as public static void main, right? So we will understand that what are these keywords: public, static, void and main, and the parameter is array of the string, right? So we will understand these keywords one by one, why we are using these keywords with the main function. So the first keyword in this you can see that is a public, right? We will see the what is the public meaning, right? As we know that public is a access specifier, right? We have seen in this C++ also public is access specifier, right? In the main function we are giving the public so that the other all objects can access it, right? For the open access we are giving the main function public because the execution of the Java program will be started from the main function. That's why we have to give the public for open access for all objects. Now static, right? Generally we are creating the static variables or methods for sharing between all objects, right? Here main function will be only one copy between all objects. Now void, as we know that void means the return type, that means it doesn't return any value. Here main function will not return any value, that's why we have specified void. And after this we have seen that the string args, main function will take the array of the string as a parameter, right? This is what the meaning of all this keyword public, static, void main. And public is for open access, static means that is only one copy of main function will be shared between object. Void means doesn't return any value. String args, as we know that array of string. Now if we look at our program, right, our program is ready, right? First program is ready, class name is first. Now we have to save this file with the name first, right? This is what the rule is in Java programming. Whatever main function you are creating, you have to save the file name with that class only where the main function is there, and the main function is in the first, so I have to save this file as the first.java, right? You can see here the class name is given first, that's why I am saving this file with the first.java, right? This file is already available, so I need to override. Now my task is to compiling this and using the interpreter also. Now I will use the compiler and interpreter. For that I have to open the command prompt. You can open this from the your run. Type here cmd, so the command prompt will be open. For compilation I will use the Java C, right? First I will go to the my library which is in the D drive and program, right? Now I am in the directory. Now my task is to compiling the program. Here first I am clearing the screen using the cls command. Now the screen is clear. Now for compiling I will write Java C, the file name .java, and the file name is first, right? So I will write the Java C first.java. This is what the syntax for compiling any Java program, but Java C is not working here. That's why I have to set the environment variable. Here as a quick review I will show you how we can set the environment variable, which we have studied in previous lecture also. Sometimes it happens whenever you are running your program in the different system, you have to set this environment again, right? For setting the environment you have to open the control panel from your system, right? After opening the control panel we will go to settings and then we can set the environment variable, right? Let me first open the control panel. In the control panel there is a system settings are available and also Java settings are also available. Here I will in control panel go to in the system, right? There is a system and security, right? This is the Windows 8, so the previous lecture navigation and here navigation will be different. In the system again there is a system option inside the system and security, and inside the system there is an advanced system setting. In this you can see the environment variable settings are there. Click on that. Here the path is not available, so I will create the new path, right? Here I will type the path. If it is available then click on the edit button, right? Here not available, that's why I have to create my own path and give here the path, right? As we know that the path is from C drive, program files, Java, JDK and bin. This is what the path is: C, program files, Java, JDK and bin. Copy this path and paste in the control panel environment variables. This is what the system variables are. In the system variable we are not giving the slash at the end of the path. This is what I have set the path. And after this user variable I am now setting the system variable. In system variable path is already available, so click on the edit. At the end give the semicolon because we are adding new path, then paste your path here, right? After pasting this path give the slash here so that the directory will be found, then press OK. Now my environment variable are ready for execution, right? Now we have to see whether the environment variable are set or not. But for that I have to close the previous command window, right? I have to open again this command window, then I can see whether my command is working or not. In this first I am going to the command window, right? In this command window I have to check with the Java C. First I am going to my directory which is in the E drive, right? Now type the Java C. You can see the help is given of the Java C, right? That means my environment variable are ready now. Now my program is first.java and the syntax is Java C first.java, means the file name .java. right? If I am trying to compile, there will be an error because my program is available in program directory. So first I have to move to that directory from in E drive. For that cd, then program, because program is the folder inside which my program is available, right? Now I am inside the program directory. Now type the command javac first dot java, that is the syntax for the compilation. Now my program is successfully compiled. After this I have to run this program using java command, right? This is syntax is java first, right? This is what the syntax, java space file name, right? If you press enter, the output will be there. You can see the output hello world, right? Here is what the output is here. So this was the first program of your lab manual, right, in which just we have to print the hello world. In this we have also included that the main function of the Java program. Here I am changing the sequence of the public and static, right? Let me try that whether it is working or not. First I have written the static and then I have written the public. And let me change the sequence. If you again try to compile the program, you will not find any error because this sequence will also work, right? This is what the program compiled successfully. If you run the program, here is the output hello world. That means that the both sequence are working properly, but generally in the reference books or web reference you will find the sequence public static void main, right? So make sure that you have to follow only one sequence in every program so that it will be clear for you. This is what the first program in which we have printed the hello world. Moreover, we have learned that the main function of the Java program, the four keywords of main function, public, static, void and string args, right? We have seen the meaning of these keywords, right? Here the first program and main function is completed. In further we will start with our next practical, right, in from the lab manual, which is about the prime number. In this we can learn how we can compile and run the program, right? This syntax will be helpful in next lecture also. In first practical of Java programming, we have learned that how can create the class and how we can add the main method inside the class. Further, we have seen that how we can run and compile the Java program. Now, the second practical we will start here. The second practical definition is write a program in Java to generate first n prime number, right? Then n number will be given. For example, the number 13 is given. That means we have to find the prime numbers 13, right? We have to find the 13 prime numbers which will be started from the 1. This is what the definition of the practical do. First we will do the program for only checking the whether the number is prime or not. Before that we have to see the what is the prime number, right? We have to see the definition of the prime number, that we can move ahead in our program, right? The prime number is a number in which the two factors are available only, right? That the number itself and 1. Right? Only two factors are available. You can take the many examples of the prime number. We have to first check the whether the given number is prime or not. Here I am giving the various prime numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. Right? In this, the two factors are only the number itself and the number 1. These are all the prime numbers. There are only two factors, only 1 and the number itself. Yet you can take the any example 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 13, 17, 90, right? 23, 27, right? 27 is not prime, right? Because there are factors available of 27 that are 9 threes, right? 9 threes is a 27, so 27 will not be prime number. The prime number is the number, only two factors must be there, 1 and number itself, right? This is what the definition of the prime number, only two factors will be there, the number 1 and the number itself. For example, if we take any number, right, the number, for example, I am taking that is a 13. The 13, we can have the two factors only, 1 and 30. If you try to find any number between 1 to 30, starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? We will not find any factor from this number which is the factor of 30, right? For that we have to check the 13 is prime or not, right? In this program we will check the whether the 13 is prime or not. As we know that two factors are only available, 1 and 13, right? Other factors are not in between 1 and 30. For that we have to divide the 13 number with from number 2 to 12, right? This is what the procedure of our program is. We have to divide this 13 number from 2 to 12, right? જ્યારે પણ આપણે પ્રાઇમ નંબર છે કે નહીં એ ચેક કરવું હોય તો કોઈ પણ જે આપણે નંબર લઈએ છીએ એને આપણે 2થી લઈને 12 સુધી, મીન્સ કે 13 છે તો 12 સુધી, 14 હોય તો 13 સુધી, એવી રીતે આપણે એને ડિવાઈડ કરવું પડે. અને જેમ જેમ આપણે એને ડિવાઈડ કરતા જઈએ, બરાબર, પછી આપણને જો રિમાઇન્ડર મળે દેટ મીન્સ એ નંબર પ્રાઇમ નથી. જો રિમાઇન્ડર મળે ઇટ મીન્સ કે એનો ફેક્ટર છે, બરાબર. જો આપણે રિમાઇન્ડર ના મળે છેલ્લે સુધી એકેય વાર તો એ નંબર જે છે એ પ્રાઇમ નથી, બરાબર. હવે આપણે જો એકેય ફેક્ટર ના મળે 2 to 12, તમે 13ને 2 વડે ડિવાઈડ કરો, 3 વડે કરો, એકેય ફેક્ટર ના મળે તો આપણે એવું કહી શકીએ કે 13 જે છે એ પ્રાઇમ છે, બરાબર. જો એકેય ફેક્ટર તમને મળે છે, ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ 14 હોય તો 14ને તમે 2 વડે ડિવાઈડ કરો તો તમારે જે રિમાઇન્ડર જે છે એ 0 આવશે, બરાબર. દેટ મીન્સ ધ 2 અને 7 જે છે એ 14ના રિમાઇન્ડર એના ફેક્ટર્સ છે, બરાબર. ધીસ ઇઝ વોટ ધ પ્રોસિજર ઓફ ફાઇન્ડિંગ ધી prime number, whether the number is prime or not. Before starting our second example, first we will see how we can find the whether the number is prime or not. For that I will take the one variable which is the count, that will count the factors of this particular number. For example, I have taken the 13 number. If the factors are available in 13 number, that will be stored in the count variable. Now I will initialize this count variable with the 0. If the factors are available, then the variable count will be incremented, right? Now after this we will start with our program of the checking the whether the number is prime or not, right? For this I have also said that I will use the count variable. This will be used in our program. This is what the procedure is, how we can check the prime number. Using this procedure we will make a program which will find whether the given number is prime or not. As according to the previous example, first I will write the comment, right? Comment, you can write the second practical, right? First we have to create the public class, the class name, right? Here the class name I am giving the prime. You should make a practice of writing first letter capital in the name of the class, right? This is what the just a habit. We have to write the first letter capital in class name. In the variable you can use the small letters, but for differentiating we will use the first letter capital in class name, right? This is what the class is created. Inside that I will use the main function. As we have seen in the previous program, main function will be write as public static void main in the bracket string args. કોઈપણ જ્યારે આપણે લોજિકના પ્રોગ્રામ કરતા હોય કે આપણને લોજિક આપેલું છે કે કોઈ નંબર પ્રાઇમ છે કે નહીં, પ્રાઇમ નંબર સિરીઝ ચેક કરવાની છે કે મેક્સિમમ નંબર ફાઇન્ડ કરવાનું છે, ત્યારે જાવા પ્રોગ્રામિંગની અંદર આ એક સ્ટ્રક્ચર જે છે કોમન રહેશે. પહેલાં આપણે ક્લાસ બનાવવાનું, એની અંદર આપણે મેઇન ફંક્શન બનાવવાનું અને જે કંઈ પણ આપણું લોજિક છે આપણે આ મેઇન ફંક્શનની અંદર લખવાનું રહેશે. Now in this main function we will initialize the variable first, right? We will initialize the variable first is a number, for which we will check the whether the number is prime or not, right? That number will be integer type. So I will define this variable with the integer data type, that is the number. Integer number equal to, for example, 13, right? Here I will initialize the value in the first line, right? I will give the value static. Then I will teach you how we can take the value from the user. Initially I am taking the value static. I will define here 13. Right, comment I have forgot. Right, this program is only for checking the number is whether prime or not. In the next lecture we will learn how we can find the first n prime number, but before that we have to learn that how we can check the whether the number is prime or not, because in that program first we will check the whether number is prime or not, then we will find this series. તો આજના જે લેક્ચરમાં આપણે પ્રાઇમ નંબર ફાઇન્ડ કરીએ છીએ એ જ વસ્તુ નેક્સ્ટ પ્રોગ્રામમાં પણ ફોલો થશે. આપણે એક એક નંબરને ચેક કરશું કે નંબર પ્રાઇમ છે કે નહીં, બરાબર. પછી જો એ નંબર પ્રાઇમ હશે તો આપણે એને સિરીઝમાં મૂકશું, અને જો એ નંબર પ્રાઇમ નહીં હોય તો આપણે એને સિરીઝમાં મૂકશું નહીં. તો આ લેક્ચરની અંદર આપણે જસ્ટ એ જ શીખશું કે નંબર જે છે એ પ્રાઇમ છે કે નહીં. રાઈટ. સો હિયર આઈ એમ ગિવિંગ ધ સ્ટેટિક વેલ્યુ ઓફ ધી નંબર. Right, for example number 30, which is the already prime number, we will see the whether my program is giving the number is prime or not. And as I have said already, I will use one variable count for counting the factors of 13. Using the count variable, I will count the factors of 13, either the factors are available or not, and I will use I for using the for loop. I will use the one for loop. In this for loop, I will divide this 13 number from 2 to 12. Right? Let me initialize the for loop. As you know that the syntax of the for loop, for that I will write the first for. Inside that, the first parameter will be initialization, second will be condition, and third will be increment or decrement. In the initialization, I will write I equal to 2, because I will start dividing from 2 number. Here I equal to 2. Then the condition is I will be less than number, means the I will be up to 12 only, be lower value than 13. Right? So I will use the 12. Now increment, I have to increment in I 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will divide 13 with 2, then 3, then 4, then 5 up to 12. Inside the for loop, I will check the whether the number is divisible by 2 or not. Right? Now I will start the dividing in the if. Right? In the if you can give the condition number modulo I. Right, I will start dividing the number with the I from 2. So we have to write number modulo I. Right, number modulo I, if it is 0, then the number is a factor of that number. For example, I am dividing with 2. Right, if it is not giving 0, then it is the not factor of the number. If it is 0, then the count value will be incremented. That means the factor we have found. Right? આ જે છે કન્ડિશન એ એવું ચેક કરશે કે જ્યારે તમે એક એક નંબર લેતા જાઓ છો 2, 3, 4, 5, એને તમે 13 વડે ડિવાઈડ કરો છો. પહેલાં 13 ડિવાઇડેડ બાય 2, જો એને તમે ડિવાઈડ કરો અને તમને રિમાઇન્ડર જે છે એ 0 મળે, દેટ મીન્સ કે એ જે નંબર 2 છે એનો ફેક્ટર છે. બરાબર. જો તમને રિમાઇન્ડર ના મળે તો તમારે છે એ કાઉન્ટની વેલ્યુ 0 રહેશે, અને તમે એવું કહી શકો કે એનો એ ફેક્ટર નથી. અને જો કાઉન્ટની વેલ્યુ તમને એકઈ વાર 0 કરતાં વધારે મળી જાય, બરાબર, તો આપણે એવું કહી શકીએ કે એનો 1 અને 13 કરતાં વધારાનો ફેક્ટર છે. બરાબર. એ 2, 3, 4, 5 ગમે તે હોઈ શકે. એકવાર જો કાઉન્ટની વેલ્યુ 0 કરતાં વધી જાય એટલે આપણે આ લૂપની બહાર નીકળી જશું, એટલે આપણને એક ફેક્ટર મળી ગયો. આ લૂપનો ઇન્ટેન્શન એ જ છે કે કોઈ પણ નંબર પ્રાઇમ છે કે નહીં એ ચેક કરવું. જ્યારે આપણે ચેક કરશું કે જો આપણને કાઉન્ટની વેલ્યુ 0માંથી 1 થાય, જો કાઉન્ટની વેલ્યુ 0માંથી 1 થઈ, ઇટ મીન્સ કે મને ફેક્ટર મળી ગયો. બરાબર. જ્યારે તમે કોઈ નંબરને ડિવાઈડ કરો છો આઈ વડે, આઈની વેલ્યુ 2, 3, 4, 5 વધતી જશે. 2 વડે ડિવાઈડ કરો છો, બરાબર, ડિવાઈડ નથી થતું, રિમાઇન્ડર જે છે 0 નથી મળતી, એટલે એનો ફેક્ટર નથી. બરાબર. પછી એને આપણે 3 વડે ડિવાઈડ કરશું, 4 વડે ડિવાઈડ કરશું, જો એની રિમાઇન્ડર આપણને 0 મળી જશે, બરાબર, ઇટ મીન્સ કે એ નંબર એનો ફેક્ટર હશે, એટલે આપણે કાઉન્ટમાં ઇન્ક્રીમેન્ટ કરશું. કાઉન્ટમાં ઇન્ક્રીમેન્ટ થઈ જાય એટલે આપણે લૂપની બહાર નીકળી જશું. લૂપની બહાર નીકળ્યા પછી આપણે ચેક કરશું, હજી જો કાઉન્ટની વેલ્યુ 0 છે, જો છેલ્લે સુધી કાઉન્ટની વેલ્યુ 0 રહેતી હોય તો જ આપણે એવું કહી શકીએ છીએ કે આ જે નંબર જે છે આઈની વેલ્યુ એ આપણે આપેલા નંબરને ડિવિઝિબલ છે, બરાબર, એની આપણે રિમાઇન્ડર જે છે 0 મળે છે, તો એ નંબર જે છે પ્રાઇમ નથી. જો 0 ના મળે તો, જો એ 0 મળે તો આપણો જે નંબર કેવો છે, કોઈ પણ નંબર સાથે ડિવિઝિબલ નથી, આપણને રિમાઇન્ડર ક્યારેય પણ 0 મળતી નથી, એટલે આપણો નંબર કેવો છે, પ્રાઇમ. જો કાઉન્ટની વેલ્યુ 0 ટકી રહે તો આપણે એવું કહી શકીએ કે નંબર જે છે એ પ્રાઇમ છે. જો કાઉન્ટની વેલ્યુમાં ઇન્ક્રીમેન્ટ આવે, તમે આપેલા 13 નંબરને 2, 3, 4, 5 સાથે ડિવાઈડ કરતા જાઓ અને જો કાઉન્ટની વેલ્યુ વધી જાય, બરાબર, તો આપણે લૂપની બહાર નીકળી જશું અને આપણે એવું કહી દઈશું કે નંબર જે છે એ પ્રાઇમ નથી. આ જે છે એ પ્રાઇમ નંબરનો લોજિક છે કે પહેલાં આપણે એ નંબરને 1 બાય 1 નંબર સાથે ડિવાઈડ કરવું અને એક વેરિયેબલ રાખવો કે જે આપણને કાઉન્ટ આપે કે આપણે જે નંબર લીધો છે એનો કોઈ ફેક્ટર અવેલેબલ છે કે નહીં. જ્યારે ફેક્ટર અવેલેબલ હશે ત્યારે કાઉન્ટની વેલ્યુમાં ઇન્ક્રીમેન્ટ થશે, અને જો કાઉન્ટની વેલ્યુમાં ઇન્ક્રીમેન્ટ થશે ઇટ મીન્સ આપણે લૂપની બહાર નીકળી જશું. લૂપની બહાર નીકળીને આપણે ચેક કરવાનું થશે કે નંબર પ્રાઇમ છે કે નહીં, અને એ ચેક કરવા માટે આપણે ચેક કરશું કે જો હજી કાઉન્ટની વેલ્યુ છેલ્લે સુધી 0 રહી છે તો એ જે છે પ્રાઇમ છે, અધરવાઇઝ એ કેવું છે, પ્રાઇમ નથી. રાઈટ. સો this is what the program for the prime number, whether the number is prime or not. Here I have given the static value 13. For that we will do the program. Now I will save this program with the class name, that is the prime. Right. For saving this program we have to use this name because the main function is included in the prime class. Right. For saving we have to write prime.java. Right. I am saving this program in the program directory. For running this program I will move that directory. Now this program is saved with the prime.java. Now we will run this program. Again we will open the command prompt for the running and compiling the program. First we will compile this program. Right. I am already in the directory D drive and program. For compiling this program we have to write javac prime.java, means the file name .java. Right. This is what the first program. Now this is the compiled now. Successfully compilation is there. No errors are there. Now for running, .java will be removed and from the javac the C will be removed. This is the syntax of running the program, Java and prime. Now you can see the output is there. Number is not prime. Right, because I have changed the value of from 13 to 12, that's why the output is here, number is not prime. Right. Now if I again change the value from 12 to 13, the output will be number is prime, because 13 is a prime number and 12 is not prime, because the factors of 12s are available 6, 2, 3, 4, 1, 12. 6 factors are available of the 12. Now I am changing the value here 13. Right. Again I am trying for compiling. If you are changing in the code, you have to compile the code again and run that code again so that you can see the output after running. Now I have again run the program. You can see the number is prime. Here I have given the 13 number which is the prime number. You can change the value here statically. Right. You can give the any value which is a prime or not. For example, I am taking the 21 value. Right. Here I am changing in the program. Again I have to save this program, then compile this program using javac command. Now the compilation is successfully done. If you again run this program, then the output will be there. 21 is not prime. Right. So the output is here prime. This number is not prime. Right. Now in this program we have given the static value. Now we will learn how we can give the value dynamically, means how we can get the value from the user. Right. First I will remove this value 21. Now I will get the value from the user. For this the scanner class is available for taking the value from the user. First remove this value. Right. Now we will scan, or we can say the take the value from the user using the scanner class. First, I have to create object of the scanner class. This class is available in Java library in the java.util package, right? So I will use this scanner class. Scanner is one inbuilt class. I will create the object of this class, right? For creating object, the syntax is scanner space input. Input is the name of the object. You can give any name here, A, B, C, I, N, whatever you want. You can give the name of the object here. Then equal to new scanner, right? New is a keyword for creating the object, right? And scanner, this is what the syntax for creating the object. Class name, object name equal to new class name. Now in the parameter we will write the system.in, because we are taking input from the system, that's why we will write the system.in. For output we are writing generally system.out, but here we will write the system.in because we are taking the input from the user. Now for taking the input, we will use the method of the scanner class, that is the next integer method for taking the integer value. Now for scanning, I will write number equal to input dot next integer. Input is the object of scanner class and next integer is a method for taking the value. બરાબર, જ્યારે તમારે યુઝર પાસેથી વેલ્યુ ગેટ કરવી હોય ત્યારે તમારે સ્કેનર ક્લાસનો ઓબ્જેક્ટ આ સિન્ટેક્સ પ્રમાણે બનાવવાનો, અને જે વેલ્યુ ગેટ કરવી હોય એ નંબર ઇક્વલ ટુ ઇનપુટ ડોટ નેક્સ્ટ ઇન્ટીજર. અત્યારે ઇન્ટીજર વેલ્યુ છે એટલા માટે મેથડ છે નેક્સ્ટ ઇન્ટીજર. ઇનપુટ જે છે એ ઓબ્જેક્ટ છે અને નેક્સ્ટ ઇન્ટીજર છે એ મેથડ છે. આ ક્લાસનો યુઝ કરીએ છીએ એટલા માટે આપણે આ ક્લાસને ઇમ્પોર્ટ પણ કરવો પડશે. એ ઇમ્પોર્ટ આપણે ક્લાસ બનાવીએ એ પહેલાં કરવો પડે, અને એની સિન્ટેક્સ છે ઇમ્પોર્ટ સ્પેસ java.util.scanner. આ જે સ્કેનર ક્લાસ છે એ java.util પેકેજની અંદર અવેલેબલ છે. બરાબર, હવે આપણે આ યુઝર પાસેથી વેલ્યુ લઈ શકીએ છીએ. હવે આપણે પ્રોગ્રામને રન કરીએ. પહેલાં આપણે એને કમ્પાઇલ કરવો પડે યુઝિંગ જાવા સી કમાન્ડ, જાવા સી prime.java. For running the Java program, we have to write Java prime, right? .java extension will be removed, Java prime. Now you can see the system will wait for your input. For example, I am typing one input, right? Then if you press enter, you can see the output whether the number is prime. The output is the number is prime, right? Here I have not displayed any message before entering the value. For example, I am giving one message for inserting the value, right? That is done by the system.out.println, right? This is done before scanning the value, right? Here I will write one message, enter the value, right? In C or C++, for taking the values from user, you are using the scanf, and in C++ you are using the cin. In Java, we are using the scanner class and we are using the method next integer for scanning the integer value, right? Here I am giving the message before the scanning, enter the value, so that we can know that now we have to enter the value, right? As we know that the program is created by us. If another one is creating the program and we are running that program, so we are not knowing that we have to enter the value. So this is a good practice. We have to give the message for entering the value. Now again, if you run this program, right, first we have to compile because I have changed in the code, right? Now compilation and this running. Now there is a message, enter number. Now for example, I am entering the number, right? For example, you can enter any number and check whether the number is prime or not, right? This number is prime. Now you can compile this code again for the different values, right? There is no need to run again. Once you have changed the value in the code or you are changing something in your code, then and then you have to compile and run again. If you are not changing any code, you can run any times, right? You can see that I have done with the various value whether the number is prime or not. In this lecture, we have only learned that the whether number is prime or not. In next lecture, we will learn how we can find the first and prime numbers. Thank you.